Give us something.
Just
Erwin?
Just enter your social security number and we'll send you this service, right?
All right. No, I picked a chair.
Nice.
All right, I'd like to call to order the December 8th, 2020 Columbia Borough Council regular meeting. Could I have a roll call, please?
Councilperson Zink.
Here.
Councilperson Kaufman.
Here.
Councilperson Williams.
Here.
Councilperson Fitzgerald.
Here.
Councilperson Stevens.
Here.
Councilperson Whitner.
Here.
Councilperson Burgard.
Here.
Mayor Lutz.
Here.
All right, no one from the ministerial. Please rise for a moment of silent reflection. All right, Eric.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, announcement of information and executive sessions. This evening, 12/8/2020 at 6:30 p.m., council held an information session to receive information-only items from the manager and solicitor. Are there any additions, deletions, or reorganization of the agenda needed? I have nothing. No one. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda as published? And a second.
Do you want the executive session?
I thought I announced that at the end because I have it written down.
Okay, that's fine, okay.
To, okay.
Yep.
Second. All right, I have a motion by Councilperson Kaufman, second by Councilperson Fitzgerald to approve the agenda as published. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Citizen comment, non-agenda items only. I don't believe anyone was signed up. Sorry, Chief. Like, all right. Minutes for approval. Could I have a motion to approve the Borough Council meeting minutes for November 19th, 2020? And a second. You'll second? All right. I have a motion by Councilperson Stevens, second by Councilperson Kaufman to approve the Borough Council meeting minutes for November 19th, 2020. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. Could I have a motion to approve the Borough Council meeting minutes for November 24th, 2020?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilperson Lindner, a second by Councilperson Burgard to approve the Borough Council meeting minutes for November 24th, 2020. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Next, could I have a motion to approve the Borough Council work session minutes for December 1st, 2020? And a second. I have a motion by Councilperson Kaufman, a second by Councilperson Burgard to approve the Borough Council work session minutes for December 1st, 2020. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. We're cruising through. Next, we have a presentation by Miguel Maldonado of Self-Made Towing LLC. Yep, please.
There's no mic.
There's no mic.
Mike's not there.
Hold on, we're getting you a mic. Mic.
Now you take it off behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Miguel Maldonado. I'm the owner and operator of Self-Made Towing. I seen that the other night there was an accident on Halloween night, October 31st. I seen that your officer and your fire department was out on scene for a little time. And I noticed only one truck showed up to pick up 2 cars. And I just wanted to see if I was able to get on the tow rotation, and if anything, because I think it'll help with keeping some of your firefighters off the street, let them get to something a little more, probably something else important that they need to get to with the officer. He can get back on his rotation, and I think it'll just help with the city of Columbia. And then there was another one, but it's a class I want to start, but with COVID being so high, I don't even want to try to attempt it this year. I'll just wait until everything calms down. But,
All right. Yeah, normally, the police department maintains a list of tow truck operators that they rotate through at their, when they're in need of tow services. So I can have you give your contact information to the chief, and he can make sure you get on that list.
Mr. Maldonado, I'll give you my contact information, and then maybe within the next week or so, you and I could meet to discuss getting you on the rotation. Just a curiosity question. Do you have an impoundment facility?
yes, I do. Actually, I'm in the process of looking for one here in Columbia, and I have one on Manheim Pike, Mako Auto Collision Center. I don't know if you know where the Mako is on Manheim Pike, but I'm partners with, well, not partners, me and him have a deal, and I use his yard for accidents and stuff. But if, depending on the requirements, if I need something closer, I'm willing to find something here in Columbia or in Mountville or around the area if I have to.
Okay, great. So I'll give you my information, and within the next week or so, we'll sit down and discuss it. Okay? Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
All right. Cruising right along. The mayor. Anything this evening?
Yes. This afternoon, we had a Columbia Life Network meeting, and there were 2 things that come out of this meeting that I thought were worth discussing here tonight. Mark probably can help me out some on it. One was, during this pandemic, things are changing almost daily. And when I say changing, the spread of the virus is changing daily, and we hear that there may be a vaccine available soon, but I want to urge people not to give up right now thinking, well, I made it this far, I'll be okay till the vaccine comes out. Don't do that, because things are on the rise. It's bad right now, okay? And you can take it how you want. Some people believe in it and some people don't. I do, and I think we should all recognize that. But along with that, we talk about the renters and the situation some of our renters are in, and that's changing right now. I don't know if there's still a rent forgiveness in effect or not, and I know there may be another one. It's about to run out, I believe, and then there may be another. But there's some things changing in that rental area, whether you are a renter or you rent to somebody. So what I really want to come out is, if you have difficulty and it's getting cold, and we don't want to see people being taken advantage of during this time. If you have an issue and you're living in a rental property and there's an issue whether you're going to be able to stay there or not, they need to contact Columbia Life Network, or if they can't get a hold of Columbia Life Network, they're up around the corner, or they have questions, stop in here, and I'm sure we will direct you where you need to go to get that assistance. But like I say, things are changing all the time, and it's almost, it's hard to stay up to date with what's happening day to day. I can't speak well to it because of the changes, and I'm not in that situation. But I know both renters and folks that rent, and we forget about that sometimes. Someone may own a rental property and they may have a mortgage on it and they're not getting any income. That can affect them. The same thing goes for our business folk. If our business folk are having problems and it looks like they're not going to, they need to come in and contact us. And we can see what we can do, whether it's with LHOP, the redevelopment authority, or whatever have you. Mark, I know you've had some conversations with some of those folks, and I want to see us be able to help people, whoever they are, get over this hump and get through it. Along with that, here was a little bit of a discussion today, and I thought about this since then, and I thought it was really worth saying. We're coming up on the end of the year, and it won't be long before people will be filing their income taxes for the year. A lot of folks count on that income tax return for something. They count on it to pay their taxes or something like that there every year. There is going to be, I know this is going to happen. There's going to be those folks out there who are going to try to take advantage of people. And what I mean by that is, if you need money before your income tax check comes, see us, we will loan you the money, and then you can pay us back. And the pitfall to that is, if you planned on that income tax money for something else, and all of a sudden you used it on something different, and along comes April, and now you don't have that money because you got to pay it back because you already spent it on something else, you're going to be in trouble. So I would urge anybody, before they make arrangements to borrow on their tax return, to contact Columbia Life Network or come in here and talk to somebody or seek advice somewhere on that. There are people out there, there are businesses out there, and I hate to say that, but there are those who try to take advantage of every situation. And I don't want to see any of our people taken advantage of in this time. It's tough enough getting through it now, let alone trying to make ends meet and learn and wind up hurting worse April, May, whatever have you. So I just wanted to put that precaution out there to folks. And that's all I have, Madam President.
Hey, Mayor, can I just add?
Sure.
Jamie at Life Network is also 211, correct?
He's connected with that system.
He's connected with that, yes. 211 will get you in there.
I'll simply add to that, Mayor. Jamie, Paul Paulson, and I met this week just to talk about similar issues and with the pending stay on the evictions being lifted, there could be a flood of people that are needing homes or home challenged, if you will. And so we are planning on getting together in early January to really look at what we as Columbia as a community, not Columbia Borough as a government, but Columbia as a community can do to all that we can to reach out to those in need right now that are part of our community. So we want to make sure that we have stuff in place that we can direct people to and direct them to the help and care that's out there. So we'll be having that meeting in early January to get a team together, people that can really truly help out.
And someday, the second stimulus or COVID CARES Act funding may be passed, and we don't know what stipulations will be to that, and that may be able to help some folks out with. But if there's questions, bottom line is, as Mark and I both said, you need to contact somebody, contact us, and we'll see what we can do.
Chief, anything from you?
None of this time. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, no old business, we are flying through. New business, could I have a motion to consider authorizing the advertising of ordinance 924 of 2020 to rezone 75 South 12th Street from rural residential to institutional residential? And a second. I have a motion by Councilperson Kaufman, second by Councilperson Stevens, to consider authorizing the advertising of ordinance 924 of 2020 to rezone 75 South 12th Street from rural residential to institutional residential.
Yeah.
Take it away, Mark.
Sure, and Joyce, do you want to speak first? Would you like me to go first, or do you want me to explain how we got to where we are? Sure. Back in the end of 2019, the borough passed an ordinance that rezoned many parcels here in town. And during that process, the intent was to rezone the land up around Luther Care to allow for an expansion of their development into land that we know as the old community pool area. In drawing up the ordinance to prepare for that rezoning, 2 of the 3 parcels in that area were grabbed and included in the rezoning. The one smaller one, 75 South 12th Street, was not included in that. They brought forward their land development plans and preparing to do that, and it was discovered when the county was doing their review of it that only 2 of the 3 parcels were rezoned. So we're bringing this forward now. Joyce is here to speak to it from the behalf of the client to get that proper rezone so they can get that back on track with the land development plan. So if Joyce, you want to add to that?
There's not much more to add. Joyce Gerhardt from RGS Associates. The property is a half-acre parcel that's to the rear of 1200 Locust Street. And when the rezoning was done, I think everybody assumed that all of the parcels were included, and this one was just missed as the process was set forth last year. So we prepared a request to have that additional parcel rezoned with the rest of it.
So we've taken this land this request to the Planning Commission, and Planning Commission recommended approval. Coming to you now, what we're seeking tonight is authorization to send it to the county for their formal review, and then went back to authorize the borough attorney to advertise the ordinance, and then we'll bring it back. Once the county review is done, we'll bring it back before you for formal action.
All right. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. It's kind of related to this. Derek, you may have no answer to it. Will St. John's Her Estate ultimately, or the Luther Care, ultimately combine the parcels into one, or leave those multiple parcels?
The 2 parcels that are, the one that's at 1200 Locust Street and the 75 South 12th Street, the intention is to combine those in common. But it's not the intention to combine that with the main campus.
Okay.
This is the land development that's being proposed is duplexes, and they're going to be cottages, independent living units that are part of Luther Care. But they're not sure what's going to happen down the road, what the needs are going to be, whether people are going to continue to want to move to retirement communities. So they want to keep it separate so that if they need to in the future, they can sell that separately.
Mm-hmm.
So the setbacks and everything are from the outer boundary of the main campus and the outer boundary of these 2 houses.
And the only reason I said that is, as I understand, there now would be 3 parcels there.
Well, one of the parcels that was grabbed that Mark was talking about, Luther Care does not own. There's a single family
That's right.
residence that's on Locust, so it's just the 2.
Okay, so those 2, but those 2 parcels, so that in the future, there doesn't have to be work done, because, as to say, a building would be on 2 different parcels.
The way it's proposed, there's actually a building along the line.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought.
So, yes, we do propose a lot add-on to combine those in common.
Thank you.
Yeah, based on the whole development of these 2 parcels, the rezoning became unavoidable. We looked at it, but that back parcel has to be rezoned to be included in the development as a whole.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any other questions, comments, or concerns? All right. With that being said, I have a motion by Councilperson Kaufman with a second by Councilperson Stevens to approve authorizing the advertising of ordinance 924 of 2020 to rezone 75 South 12th Street from rural residential to institutional residential. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Next, presentation and acceptance of reports. Community development, Councilperson Hoffman, anything?
The only thing I have is I'd like to add to the next agenda, a continuation of the free parking Saturdays, at least for discussion.
How long did you want to extend it?
Well, I figured that'd be part of the discussion, but
Okay.
the reality of it is, the reason we're doing this is because of the COVID requirements the government's putting on businesses. So I would personally extend it out as long as these restrictions are on, to help them out as long as we can. But I don't know numbers, so I'm sure that the borough manager would supply us with losses or gains that we've received from free parking Saturdays.
It's hard, we can look at how much we made in December of last year, but we don't collect the fees every day, the coins out of the machine, so we don't know how much we collected on Saturday versus we had a really good Tuesday.
Right.
So it's hard for us to nail down the exact day that the money was.
But could you see Monday to month, or month to month, a difference?
If we look at month-to-month totals from last year, we can kind of see, but that's also a bit subjective, because if a new store is open and it's drawing more people, it may throw the numbers off a bit. We can look at that.
Okay, that's okay.
So,
I'd be more interested to hear
For businesses.
if there's any input from businesses,
Yeah.
if,
that'd be the better test.
right, you know, if they're noticing that the parking is not being taken up by patrons, if it's being taken by residents, I don't really know. I just know that the last 2 weekends, coming downtown, Locust Street was packed.
Yeah.
And it was packed with cars and it was packed with people.
Yep.
I love that.
Do you want to say something to the Merchants Association about the discussion coming next meeting?
I will, yes.
Maybe somebody will show up.
Yeah, if they want to show up and give us some input, and we can go from there.
Eric, I would suggest to you and the council, in your thoughts at the next meeting, to consider something similar to what was done in the past on the emergency proclamation, where if you choose to extend that each month, you just re-up it then, rather than setting a date out there or leaving it.
Well, that's true. I mean, we don't know how long
Yeah,
this is going to last.
I would suggest that you do that month by month.
Right. Alright. We'll get that on the next agenda.
Thank you.
Alright. Finance, Councilperson Stevens.
I don't know.
Okay. Nothing on legislation. Parks and Recreation, Councilperson Williams.
Yes, Parks and Recreation is taking a break in December. Our December meeting is going to be canceled, and we will meet again on January 14th, 2021.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay, and personnel, Councilperson Whitmer.
No.
Oh, I wanted to say, I met Sharon this morning, our new employee. She seems very nice, and I'd encourage everyone to stop in and say hi to her, meet her, and put a name with a face with a name, however you want to say it. Public Works and Property, Councilperson Fitzgerald.
Thank you. Mr. Graham, there's a few things on your monthly report you might want to touch on tonight.
Sure. This is a good one. The leaf collection ends on Friday, the 11th. And that will also be the last day of street sweeping for the season. Also, the Christmas tree drop-off will be January 9th. It'll be just the same as years past at Columbia Fire Company. 9th from 8 to 12, and also the yard waste facility will be on that day too.
Jake, as far as the yard waste facility, is it still being open one Saturday a month?
Second Saturday.
Second Saturday a month. And the reason I ask that is I still see yard waste bags around the community. And maybe we need to hint or put something out there that says, if you have yard waste that wasn't picked up, you can take it to the farm on the second Saturday. I mean, I know a spot right now where there's probably eight or more bags sitting along a fence. So those people need to get that stuff out there. Or the weather's going to mess up the bags, and then all that yard waste that someone worked to collect is going to be strewn all about. So maybe we can get a reminder out there that the facility is still open on the second Saturday.
Yeah, I believe that was just posted.
Okay, good.
Along with the street sweep. At this point, the street sweep will probably resume somewhere in the March timeframe, mid-March timeframe. That's going to be weather dependent. There could be some situations where we could get it out. We've got some bad areas that need to be cleaned up. So we'll just get it out. Of course, there will be no ticketing for that.
Okay, thank you. Market House, the contractors are busily working on the punch list items to get them accomplished. If you follow Columbia Market House on Facebook or Instagram, you may have seen that they have their new website launched. That's columbiapamarkethouse.org. You want to check that out. And we're still set to open in May of 2021.
Two great news pieces that came out in the past week on that. One, I think, was in the Lancaster News, and one great one, front page of the Merchandiser today.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you said
Great
that.
article, yes.
Good.
Ms. Allen?
Anything else, Councilperson Cheryl?
No.
Thank you. Safety, Councilperson Burgard.
Thanks, President Zink. In your package, you'll find the safety reports for the Columbia Borough Police Department, the Columbia Borough Fire Department, Columbia SVEMS, not Columbia SVEMS, as well as the codes compliance reports for November 2020, and the zoning and planning reports. There is no EMOC report in here, I noticed. But I also did want to say, we had talked earlier about the zoning and planning reports from here forward will be included with the community development packet, Parks portion of the packet, so expect to see that. That's all I have.
Our emergency management coordinator was
Pam, can you
unavailable
mute,
for about
please?
2 weeks, and that's probably why.
All right. Anything else?
That's it for me.
All right. Staff reports, Evan. It's your turn, buddy.
Yeah, just one thing to mention tonight. We had a meeting with Mark and Kyle earlier this week to discuss the outstanding liens and collections that the borough has, and obviously it's quite a list. You see that in Kyle's report every month. So we're going to talk about that at your next meeting on the 22nd. We'll have some information for you, kind of walk you through that process and what needs to take place, and let you, give you some insight into that and what we'll start doing here probably in the new year. So, but that was a good meeting, and I think we made some good progress as far as what the borough is looking for and how we can help. So look for that coming in your, for the 22nd, the meeting on the 22nd.
Excellent. Borough engineer, anything for us there?
Well, it's pretty, with it being winter, it's pretty quiet on the construction front right now. We are currently working hard on the designs for the Walnut Street beautification and also the Mill Street CDBG project for next year. Those are the two kind of big jobs. And then, of course, we'll just note that we will see the contractors back in spring finish up the 700 and 800 blocks of Walnut Street. So, those are the highlights.
Is the plan for that 700 and 800 block of Walnut, is it still the plan to pave the 7th Street?
Yes.
Between Walnut and Chestnut as
Yes.
well? Because that kind of got all.
So we're going to work through that with the contractor. The last that Jake and I spoke with the contractors, we are going to get when the contractor has the milling machine in, assuming that they're going to bring a milling machine in to tear up the road, it's the easiest way to do it. If they have a milling machine on site, we're going to have our contractor mill 7th Street for us, and then Jake is tossing around doing the paving with the borough crew. But we'll have to evaluate it at the time and basically look at the cost for the different scenarios.
Is that big hump going to be going in the gutter there?
Yes.
All right, good.
Yes, that's another benefit of the storm sewer installation that was done. That new inlet, there's a couple new inlets that are on the 7th Street. We now don't need the water to flow through that intersection anymore. We wanted to go into those new storm drains. So, yes.
Okay. Secretary Treasurer.
Thank you. Well, you stole some of my thunder, but I'll jump in anyway. It was fantastic to have Sharon Sino join us on Monday. Without giving you the bloody details of us weird planning folks, it was very nice to bring someone on board who really understood what needs to be done, how to do it, and is jumping right in to get involved in projects and issues. She had a good walkthrough of the office, where things are, talked about our upcoming goals, what we're trying to accomplish, introduced her to our comp plan consultant, they're going to get together on Friday and go through a bunch of information regarding the comprehensive plan. As of today, she started working on the historic reports for distribution at the end of this week to you guys for our hard meeting next week. It's just great to have her on board. So I'm looking forward to her, bringing her here for one of the meetings soon, introducing her to you so that you guys can all meet her. But as Heather said, please stop by and meet her in your own time. We have a property that we want to look at getting off of our books, and I've talked to Fran about it, and that is along Blue Lane on the north and east side of Blue Lane, if you will. You're heading out. We own a strip of land in there, which includes a small pond on that area. We've had interest in some people purchasing that land, and so we're looking now at how we subdivide this land off so we can get it sold. The concern that I have is just the liability risk and exposure that it has to the borough right now of us maintaining that property. So we hope to be bringing forward soon a proposal to bring this land up for sale, probably through a sealed bid process to sell the land. Just get that off of our books and get it into private hands. I think that's the right way to go. So you'll be seeing something from that shortly. quick update. Jake's team has been working very hard on our holiday tree, but every now and then we've had some issues with some of the lights going out. They're working hard to keep that up. So if anyone has any concerns, please just reach out to me and we'll make sure we address it. But it was lit on Saturday, went out on Sunday again, and there's just some shorts in the system. But I think we got it all tweaked and working now. But everything should be up and running as it's supposed to. The final thing I have, and you'll see it on your agenda, is we have some vacancies coming up on our boards. And what I'd like to do is I'll be emailing these lists out to each one of you. And if you have a leadership or a liaison responsibility to any of these boards and you see any of these vacancies, we'll need to either reappoint these people or find new people to take their place. So I'd like to get it out to you tomorrow and have that discussion at the 22nd meeting of making these reappointments, which we could do in January if we needed to, but we need to get going on this so that we have full boards coming up, okay? So look for an email from me tomorrow. I'll get this list out to you guys. Go down the list. If anyone falls into your area of leadership, please feel free to contact me, reach out to me, and we'll make like I said, make the reappointments to the board if these are people who want to keep on, or we'll look at making shifts in the board as per your pleasure, okay? And that's what I have. Thank you.
All right. Boards, commissions, and committees, upcoming meetings. As Pam said, the Parks and Rec was scheduled for December 10th. That has been canceled. Planning Commission is on Tuesday, December 15th. Harb is December 16th. Do we still have one, or do we have more cases? Three cases to hear. Okay. Columbia River Park Advisory Committee is December 17th, and that will be happening here in council chambers. There were no approved minutes included in the packet. Borough Council comments. Councilperson Bernard.
No, thank you.
Councilperson Fitzgerald.
No, thank you.
Hoffman.
I have none, thank you.
Councilperson Littner.
Since Jake's here, I just wanted to ask a quick question for a resident who asked me. The beauty strips. Now, I know with weather changing, it won't be such an issue, but that is the resident's responsibility? Is that correct? Okay, thank you. The maintenance of it, I should say, yeah.
Okay. Councilperson Stevens.
Just one thing, since Mark was talking about selling a piece of property, we spoke about this before. Anything going on with 4th and Opus up there?
Oh, not yet. It's on our list to look at liquidating next year.
Because I had people saying, you know, we should sell it to the CHI for them to use it.
In the same way, we'll put it out for bid, and whoever is the highest bid
Well,
can.
I mean, you have to put out a bid.
Yeah.
But I thought we discussed would probably put a property there instead of like a parking area to make it more.
That's a possibility. Whoever buys it, I just, you know, if we could put a taxable parcel on there, it makes sense to me. We've talked about this many times, the need we have to get the highest value for the land that we have without putting an additional burden on our existing property owners. So any undervalued land that we can improve the taxable position of, as well as, it's not just a taxable position, but it truly to bring another valuable business into town would be a benefit to all of us.
All right. Councilperson Williams, do you have anything that you wanted to bring up or add or anything?
Thank you, I do not.
All right. Announcement of next meeting at 6:30 p.m. on December 22nd. Council will hold an information session to receive information from its borough manager and solicitor prior to the regularly scheduled meeting at 7 p.m. Following the adjournment this evening, we will adjourn to an executive session to discuss the potential appeal of a zoning hearing board decision. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilperson Littner, second by Councilperson Stevens to adjourn the meeting at 7:41 PM. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? And that's a wrap. We're adjourned.
I'll send you an email. Yeah. Thank you. Welcome back.